Well, hey everybody, it's Helchalash here. I got a couple requests when I did this forest I'm in right now, Hushwood Hollow. People wanted to know how I made it, and more specifically how I used Voxel Sniper, like the method that I used to make these trees. So I figured that'd be fairly easy. I could go ahead and do that for you guys. We got a nice bright early morning here to work with, so hopefully I can get it done in less than 10 minutes or so before it gets dark. I think I'm going to go ahead and add one. I'm going to make a big one over there fairly soon, and I might do a time-lapse video of that. But for now, I'm just going to do something quick and simple, and it's going to be probably right in this area. This looks good right here. Might be able to have a root hanging off or something. A lot of people like to do like serious planning. That's not really my thing. You know, I've literally never drawn out a build or anything like that. And you know, it looks really good when you put the time and effort into it, but you know, it can also look really good if you don't. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you that you have to, because I certainly don't. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you got to do anything. I'm not that kind of guy. So anyway, we're going to start off with a ball brush /B. Like I said before, we're using Voxel Sniper for this. These are all Voxel Sniper commands. So /B space B for the ball brush. Let's see, the size is set very large. We're going to bring that down to a 3. And we're going to change the material to 17. Oh, it looks like we got a matte to matte performer selected, which means that it's going to replace the material, my 17 log, with the stone that it's set to right now. We don't want to do that. So we're going to change it to a /ball M brush. Just a material. So no longer replacing anything, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the base right here. And the way I did this whole forest is you start with a fairly small base. I always end up making it larger than I plan. It never fails that happens. This one's probably going to be a lot bigger than I anticipated. I said it was going to be small and quick. Probably not, but let's see. I'll try my hardest. A couple of them I actually did make small trees, so let's see if I can do it again. Alright, so we start off with the base with the ball size of 3, and then we slowly taper it up like I just did. And then what we're going to want to do is bend it, and bring up the trunk and bend it, but you want to bend it in such a way that it's not straight. You know, a lot of people bring it straight up, or they bring it straight out, or I mean, you know, like diagonally. And you know, I'm not going to tell you you can't do that, but I think it looks a lot better when you give it some kind of curvature. See how it sort of, you see the taper right there, and it goes in and then comes back out, or this one sort of, you know, like slides that way. And you know, some of them are short and fat, and that looks okay too. But yeah, see the bend. I think the bend, that one looks good. I think it's got that bend in it, and I like that a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and bend this one. We'll cover some of this area over here. And don't be afraid to give it a few curves, because if you just bring it out one way, it's not going to look very good. So throw in some bends in there. And that's going to be a little bit bigger than I thought, but no, we're going to have to go ahead and take some of this off. So if you want to undo, /U will undo it, and you can press a number or put a number after it to give it more stages to undo. So in this case, it'll be 2 of them. And that's, yeah, that looks a lot better. Alright. Go ahead and don't be afraid to be generous with the brush, because you got to make it nice and round. A lot of people make their trees square, and you know, I mean, it fits the world, I guess, in a lot of cases, but I think it looks a lot nicer and more detailed when you do it like this. So we're going to go ahead and bring the size down to 2 /B space 2. Let's bring the size down again, and then we're going to make some branches up the top here. And again, the same method, same method we used for the trunk, just, you know, smaller, not as many. And you can place them wherever you like. Some people like to do a lot. For this forest, I mainly stuck with a pattern of 3. I would give each tree 3 large branches, because that seemed to look pretty good for the style I was going for. It's a little close. Let's bring it off over here. Alright. So that's looking pretty good for a basic tree, and now we need to round it out a little bit. Give it some more support, because it's a little heavy at the top. And now we're going to go ahead and make the roots. And the way I like to do the roots is to just bring it down, bring that same line down over the base of the tree to make it sort of stand out a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. I like that effect. And then one more down here, like so. Go ahead and bring it off this way. Maybe give that a little more depth. This is a big root. Alright. And then another one we'll do, yeah, right down here. This looks good. Oop. Down lower. And sometimes you gotta kind of feel it out as far as where it's gonna go, you know, and start from the bottom, because it's kind of hard to work your way down from the top sometimes. So starting from the bottom might be easier, you know, just experiment, whatever works. Alright. Yeah, that looks okay. Pretty good. Now let's give it one more right here. We need to round this out. You know what? Let's not give it another root. Let's just round it out a little bit more. Maybe a small root. Just so we can add some more here. Yeah, that looks much better. Whoop. There we go. And a little bit right there, right here, and right there. Yeah. Alright. So there we got our basic shape for the tree, but as you'll notice, when you use the ball brush in Voxel Sniper, you get a lot of these little points right here. Some people leave it in, and, you know, again, I'm never going to tell you what to do. It's always up to you and how you want to build it. But I think it looks a lot better when it doesn't have that, because that doesn't look very natural to me. I've never seen a tree with all kinds of little tiny bumps all over it. And, you know, I mean, sure, trees are never like completely smooth. They never have, like, you know, just smooth surfaces, but then, you know, it's never as dramatic as this, where it's just all over, pointing out like that. That's more like a tree cactus or something, but less sharp. I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's why we're going to get rid of it. So to do that, we're going to use the blend ball brush. So /B for brush, BB for blend ball. And it's going to set the size to 2. We're going to bring that up to, we'll try 5 at first, see how that goes. And I like to start from the top and work my way down. There we go. Nice. Alright, that's looking pretty good. And don't be afraid to kind of get in here and do some of the work by hand if you need to. Like if some of the things don't look quite right and you don't want to try and waste your time trying to get it with a brush when it's just a couple things like that, then just do it by hand. Because seriously, if you do it now, it saves a lot more hassle down the road. Because some of these places, I still haven't done this. You know, I made the trees and I put the leaves on and everything when I hadn't completely gone over with a good eye and done it all. And you know, it's such a pain in the ass to do afterward. So just take care of it at first, and you'll be a lot happier in the long run. Take my word for it. Alright, and as you'll see, the blend ball brush does a pretty, does a pretty good job, we're going to do this one by hand, of smoothing it out with, you know, I mean, I mean, a fair amount of ease. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot of the work by hand, and it does an incredible job of smoothing all the bumps and the rougher surfaces and stuff like that, and bringing more of a just a polished feel to it. And I like it quite a lot. And as I do this more, I'm sure you'll see how easy it is, you know, that I actually made this whole forest in not a great amount of time, because you can do this very quickly with this tool. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Go ahead and bump it. Actually, no, it needs that, doesn't it? We'll try that. How's that look? Whatever. That looks okay. Alright. Let's see if we can do anything about this. I'm not too big on that. That's not working. Maybe we can give it some more. If you use the gunpowder, it will add more if you're using the blend ball brush as opposed to taking it away. But if you use the arrow brush, it takes it away more. And the gunpowder brush essentially in Voxel Sniper does the opposite of whatever the arrow brush is doing. So in the case of the blend ball brush, it blends it by grinding it down, and it will blend it by pulling it out, extruding it with the gunpowder. So that looks pretty good. I think that's looking pretty good. Go ahead and smooth that. Alright. And I'm going to fix this with an overlay brush later. And just go in by hand with some of these areas. Take that dirt. Alright. Just a little bit more. Get it down to where it's looking pretty good. Okay. Nice. Now we're going to add some leaves. We do this with the splatter ball brush. BSB. And the way I do it, some people just replace the wood. You know, they just do the whole splatter ball brush, because if you do that, it's going to put it in any area where you click. I like to do a matte to matte performer with MM, and then set the growth to 33.33%. Alright, and I'm not entirely sure what that does. I'll be completely honest with you, but it's good for the application that I'm using it here in. So anyway, the matte to matte performer, like I said before, if you remember, is going to replace a material with another material. In this case, it's going to replace air only with whoops leaves. There we go. Brush size set to 5. That's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and fix the time. See? I knew it was going to take longer than I thought. Alright. And boom. That's what happens. And that's what gives these leaves this fluffy appearance. You know, some people just use the ball brush, and, you know, that's okay, but I think that this looks cool because I don't know. I mean, to me, this hits the eye better for some reason when there's space to break up all the leaves. It's not so thick, and it looks, yeah, I don't know, either more realistic or just more, I don't know. It looks cooler to me for some reason. But anyway, so that's what I do, and I start by doing just 3 on the top here. And then what I like to do is connect them and give it some shape. You know, don't just make it straight between them, and bring it out a little bit. Don't just make it like on the top of the log and then on the inside of the tree. Bring it out and bring it up at the top like an actual tree would have. And there we go. It's looking pretty good. And, you know, sometimes it'll connect with other trees, and I don't really care. That's fine by me. If you don't want to do it, then you can space them a little bit further apart than I do. Obviously, that was not my intention here. Alright, and then bring it... I like to bring it down sometimes, too, just to give it a little bit of an overhang on occasion. It makes the inside of it darker, and I think it looks a little bit cooler. So if you want to build a tree house in there, it's a little more secluded, as will be the case when I'm done with this place. But that's a long way off. Because when you're working by yourself, things take a lot longer. Alright. That might be about good, to be honest. Let's bring it down a little bit more over here, I guess. And then go around and check it out. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Do a quick flyover. And just like that, one more. Where there are 2 more. Where there was no life before, we have raised a sweet little tree. Or a big tree, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, pretty nifty, right? A cool plugin. I highly recommend it. I hope this helped. Let me know if it didn't. Write me hate mail, whatever you want to do. I don't really care. And yeah, I mean, yeah, keep Minecrafting, have fun, And seriously, pick up Voxel Sniper and use it, because, I mean, you know, just look. Alright, I'll see you guys later.